What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/AmITheButthole. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for telling my daughter that she's being cruel by blaming her father for her insecurities about her looks? My husband and I have 3 daughters. They are all absolutely gorgeous. Our oldest, 19, and youngest, 13, look more like me, while our middle daughter, 17, looks more like her father. My husband definitely has more strong and unique features, but I find him incredibly good looking, which is why I even married him. Shallow! Our middle daughter, however, has decided that her father is ugly, and by looking like him, so is she. I feel very sad that she's trying to compare herself to bullcrap beauty standards. Unfortunately, she's also been teased at school, and while we've managed to stop that, it hasn't helped the issue. Our daughter's problems with her appearance started when she was around 12, and despite therapy and trying various techniques recommended by therapists, her attitude is unchanged. But it's really escalated the past few years when she started blaming her father for inheriting his genes. I have shut her down every time, but my husband just lets her blame him if I'm not around. Recently, my poor husband broke down in tears while we were in bed and said he felt really guilty that our daughter looks like him and that he can't help that he's ugly. He has never had issues with his appearance before and was always very confident. I was completely crushed. My husband also said that we should maybe look into paying for some of the plastic surgery our daughter has demanded. I disagree with that completely, and we fought over it. The next day, I confronted my daughter and I told her I understand she has serious self-esteem issues, but she is being cruel to her father. This triggered a meltdown from her, and she hasn't talked to any of us since. She hasn't left her room in nearly 2 weeks. She won't even eat unless one of us leaves food outside her door. My husband is gutted and is still blaming himself. Was I wrong to say what I did? No, it's not. You're not the butthole. No, you're not wrong. You're just keeping it 100. You know what I'm saying? It's a really messed up situation, though. I don't know. I don't have daughters, nor am I a girl, so I can't offer much insight. Other than that, I know that, like high school girls and middle school girls and stuff like that are cruel. Some very mean people. Not to me. I got along with it pretty well. You know what I'm saying? I'm kidding. I was a loser. Anyway, so a lot of that probably got rooted into her mind, and she probably compares herself to her sisters, and she's probably heard so much, "You look like your dad," and no girl wants to hear that. They don't want to hear that they look like their father unless their father's like, I don't know, Mark Ruffalo or freaking Chris Evans, Jack Black even. Yeah, Jack Black. I'd be cool if I was a woman that looked like Jack Black. That'd be awesome, because, he's the pinnacle of human attractiveness. Alright, this story's called, Update to Am I the Butthole for telling my daughter that she's being cruel by blaming her father for her insecurities about her looks. I've been asked for an update by a few people, so I thought I'd share. It's headed in a positive direction mostly. My daughter ended up moving to my parents' house last month, and while my husband and I were upset, the space definitely helped ease the tension at home. I go see her every day on a walk, but she's still holding a grudge against her father and refuses to see him, which makes him incredibly sad. What did he do? But one thing that was brought up in the last point was something that made me angry at first, but after a few days, I saw the point. I love my children with all my heart, and to me, they're all incredibly beautiful. But I think I'm doing a disservice to my daughter by insisting to her that she is beautiful and not really trying to see her point of view. I am very attracted to my husband and find him handsome, but objectively, he doesn't have traditional beautiful features, and my daughter has inherited those features. Oh my god, does she have 2 noses? So I no longer try to convince my daughter that she's as beautiful as her sisters, because she's right that as her mother, I don't see her how she sees herself, and I can't really relate to how she's feeling because I've never had those thoughts. My husband and I have agreed to let our daughter have a consultation with a plastic surgeon once the pandemic is over, and we'll pay for some of the procedures she wants, but we did agree that jaw shaving is not a procedure we will be paying for. As much as it'll kill me that she wants to change the face I love and saw grow up. It's clearly a face that is ruining her mental health, and it's her choice what she wants to do with her body. I'd rather pay for a proper surgeon than for her to do some cheap illegal procedure elsewhere. My next steps are convincing my husband to get mental help for himself for all of his negative emotions he's been harboring for a while. That's another challenge, that's for sure. And even more difficult is how to fix the relationship between my husband and my daughter. I'm just at a loss for that. I need to get them in a room with a therapist. I'll be working on that. Thanks, everyone. Damn, OP. See, this woman has, she's going about this in, a really smart way. She's trying a lot of different things, and that's so nice to see, because a lot of these, you get comments saying a lot of obvious things that OP has already tried, but they didn't mention that they tried, and so I'm just glad that they were thorough. But also, negative side to that, it's not an easy problem to fix, so. But stay strong, OP and OP's husband. I'm in your corner. And what does that do for you? I don't know. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Telling My Boyfriend He's a Bad Person? Hi, sorry for any bad formatting as I'm on mobile. So recently my boyfriend got some dental trays for his teeth done, which are molds of your teeth, which can be used to put product in to whiten your teeth. He's done this before, but lost his last set of trays, so went somewhere new to get some new trays done. My boyfriend told me that when going to pick up his trays, the receptionist just gave him his trays without asking for the payment of them. He then took the trays and left knowing he had not paid for them. The receptionist called shortly after he left and explained that a mistake was made and could he please either come back and pay for the trays or pay over the phone. My boyfriend lied, saying he was adamant he had already paid before picking the trays up and it wasn't his fault that they had no record of him paying / that he didn't keep his receipt to prove it to them. He was pretty vocal to me about not wanting to pay for the dental trays if he didn't have to, and that it was the receptionist's mistake and on her. What sparked our argument about this was a car journey where he answered the phone to the manager of the dental place who was following up the call with the receptionist. My boyfriend continued with his lie that he had already paid and it was not his problem that they could not provide proof of this. Now, something about witnessing him lie so easily to this man really bothered me, and it bothered me that he didn't care if the receptionist may get into serious trouble or even lose her job over the mistake, or that he wasn't losing out by paying as he would have paid for the product in normal circumstances. After the call, which didn't reach any resolution, I told him that was very uncomfortable for me to hear and witness, and he's a bad person for lying like that when he knows full well it was likely an honest mistake by the receptionist. He got a product he didn't pay for. My boyfriend's now giving me the silent treatment and seems really hurt that I called him a bad person. He says most people would avoid paying for something if they didn't have to. Am I the butthole? Should I apologize? Yikes. Okay, that's a situation. Here's the thing. What he did is objectively the wrong thing to do. And it's not like he's receiving some sort of essential treatments or something and he's refusing to pay for it. It's purely cosmetic, so that's ruled out. If he's hurt that you called him a bad person, which I guess if you want to be really you shouldn't have called him that. You should just let him know that his actions were wrong, which you did, but the name calling probably didn't help, but I'm not saying you're a bad person for doing so. But yeah, he's getting upset about that, and I don't know, you should talk to him about morals and ethics, and I don't know, if it was a local practice or whatever that he stole from, that's super messed up, but if it's this big, big company that he stole these trays from, then it's not as big a deal, but stealing is stealing, and it's wrong. Also, I can see it being pretty, concerning, seeing your boyfriend lie so easily. So yeah, potential red flag, but no, you're not the butthole. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Telling My Boyfriend He's a Bad Person? I spoke to the manager of the dental practice. I explained that my boyfriend had been open to me about not paying and that he doesn't plan to. The manager said a letter was already on the way demanding the payment, and if boyfriend fails to pay, then court proceedings will begin. He was thankful I called and knew it was their mistake, but was surprised by my boyfriend's attempts to argue with him. That's a good result for now. I didn't plan on telling my boyfriend as I wanted to end it. There's been too many red flags, so I decided I couldn't ever truly trust him, and I didn't want to add fuel to the fire. But before I got to end our relationship in person, I learned another painful lesson. Recently, my boyfriend's laptop broke. This was fine as it was old and he can't work from home anyway. He sells cars, so he's used changed mine. Earlier this week, I'm on my laptop working and go to check my personal emails. Except my boyfriend's email was still logged in when I opened the webpage. I go to log out, but saw the most recent 30-ish emails were all from the same person, a girl. This was weird, as who emails like that to converse anymore? I know it was an invasion of privacy, but I clicked onto the emails. I deduced this was a girl from his work. They were emailing because her mobile phone was broken, and emailing him from her work email during the day was an easy way for them to still talk. The emails were flirtatious. They'd mentioned dates they'd been on, he'd clearly been to her house, they spent lunch breaks together, and she thought he was single. The more I read, the more enraged I became. What if I'd never clicked the email? After considering where I could bury him, I decided to remain calm. Atta girl. I called my manager to tell her what I just learned. She's super cool and said to take the afternoon. I then called an emergency locksmith and packed up my boyfriend's stuff. He alternates between staying at mine and his mom's. Except for his PS5 I bought for his 25th birthday last month. Oh. When this purge of my boyfriend from my life was ready, I text him. I know about Scarlett, let's say that. That's a sexy name. Sorry, she's not sexy. I mean, she could be. She didn't know she was a homewrecker. I know about Scarlett. Now our relationship is over. Your things are on the doorstep. You must transfer me the money for XYZ. Please don't ever contact me again. And blocked him on everything. 20 minutes later, a barrage of knocks are at my door as he's pleading to be let in to talk about it. I can see him, but stay silent where he can't see me. He was on his knees, crying, begging, pleading for me not to leave him, whether they were crocodile tears or not. My heart ached. After some time, he left with his stuff. I felt relief and had a good cry, but I doubt that's the last I'll hear from him. I feel heartbroken and stupid. An enormous thank you to all those who said his behavior was revealing of his character / what he's capable of. I will apply the same vigilance to future parts. I know this is a dodged bullet, but it hurts like hell. Edit! Just wanted to clarify some things. I kicked him out of my house. I own it. He's never paid anything towards it and has no documentation linking him to my house. He alternates between staying at mine and his mother's, with his mother's being his official and primary residence. Weirdly, some of you were really focused on the fact I kept the PS5, but I paid for it, have the receipts, and it never left my home. I feel like retracting this gift he's had little over a week as a butthole tax is morally justified after he's been a 5-star butthole. I think they'd be very different comments if this was the other way around and he'd just given me an engagement ring and then found out I was cheating not even 2 weeks later. Yeah, it'd be mine under the jurisdiction of a gift, but is it morally right I get to keep the ring? Probably not. And get the sense half of the comments come from the fact that the console is a hard find at the moment, but I just pre-ordered it like everyone else who got one. Some are interested in whether I'm selling it. I'm undecided because on top of everything, my ex owes me a sizable amount of money, so it depends on whether he decides to be a butthole with a cherry on top and not pay me back. I noted down the email of the girl my ex was cheating with in case I wanted to contact her directly. I was thinking of constructing a message, explaining everything and assuring her I'm not bitter towards her. Then it's up to her what she wants to do with that information. Thanks so much for all the supportive messages and comments. I am reading every single one. I'm honestly shocked at the amount of kindness from strangers. Yahtzee! I did not see that coming. Not really. That guy was definitely shady, and I'm glad she got away from that relationship and found out all that crap. But, I think closure is healthy for both parties. Yes, he's a scumbag for doing what he did. However, I feel like it's good for both of you if you guys at least talk in some way, you know, like a farewell talk sort of situation, because it's just gonna, I don't know, I think it's healthier, and a lot of people would agree, because, you know, even if you do something wrong, it doesn't mean as a whole you are a butthole. See, I could totally have done some wordplay right there, but I can't because it's a no word. Anyway, my opinion, you should definitely talk, unless they're like, you know, horrible and you're in danger, then I don't see the harm. Maybe when you're ready though. All right, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Accidentally Leaving a Pizza Box in a Friend's Flat? So this is an incident that happened about 18 months ago that destroyed a long-term friendship. I've been thinking about it a lot and want to know if I am the butthole. I play D&D with my best friend, his wife, and a few other friends. We played in the conference room of a hotel, but sometimes we had to play in their flat if the room was booked up. This happened around Christmas 2018. Their flat was incredibly small, and we struggled to fit everyone in. We ordered pizza, and after I finished, I put my empty box under my seat to keep it out of the way. I accidentally forgot about it. I never have before. Next game night, we played in a storage area instead, which was much bigger and better. However, my friend said that wife had banned us from playing in the flat because someone had left a pizza box after the last session. This was said in a jovial tone with a little hint of seriousness, as if it were a joke. I suspected myself, but nothing was directed at me. It was said to the group as a whole. We all laughed about it and then moved on. The pizza box incident was never mentioned again. After this, wife rarely came to games. In February of 2019, I got engaged and organized a celebratory meal with my friends, including friend and wife. I was gonna ask friend if he would be my best man. We heard nothing from them, so I messaged him to ask if they would be coming. Here is the message I got back, word for word with names redacted. We won't be coming. This may come as a shock, but me and wife just had a massive argument, and I'm afraid it's over you. Ever since the day you put a pizza box on the floor of the flat and didn't apologize, it's been festering. She feels you have disrespected her, and by doing so, have also disrespected me. It's like you don't even care. It came to a head last week when you barely even acknowledged her. She has given me the ultimatum. It's either you or her. She's all I have left. After all we've been through, I cannot lose her. She isn't coming to the game anymore because she can't stand to be around you. This needs fixing. This was the first time the pizza box had been mentioned in 4 months. I was extremely apologetic, but friend told me he didn't know how I could fix it. Wife refused to speak to me. I ended up writing a letter of apology. It was as nice and sincere as possible. There was a week of silence. My fiance messaged the wife about it, against my knowledge. Wife never replied and blocked my fiance. Eventually, friend said that they wouldn't forgive me. The letter of apology and message from my fiance had upset wife so much she was not sleeping at night. I sent a reply saying, in my eyes, accidentally leaving a pizza box on the floor isn't a huge deal. Not enough to cause this drama. I also told him that if it was such a big issue, then someone should have talked to me about it. I said I was walking away from the situation and that he knew where I was if he ever needed me. I haven't heard a word from either of them since. Okay, what is going on? I'm so okay, how... Are they Asian? Because that's a very, as someone who's grown up around Asian culture, as a half Asian myself, this is very, very like that. You know what I'm saying? Anything is a slight. Anything is disrespect if you don't do how they expect it. It's crazy. And as someone who's like half white American guy, and who's grown up here, I'm usually pretty charming, and they usually love me just because I'm white and they like light skin over there, like in Pakistan and stuff. It's something they really idealize. But there have been a few situations where I get dirty looks for doing absolutely nothing besides being really cool.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.